Thanks for joining me today. I'm about to start my infinite zoom of drawing Santa's sleigh, but I always have to put rings on my hands because it's part of what I do to prep for drawing, and there's never anybody on here to begin with, so I'm just going to show you I have all of these rings at my drawing table, and I just kind of decide that right before I start what I'm going to put on, and I try to make them not too uncomfortable. So there we have. I'm ready to go now. And just to bring everybody up to speed, I am going to, this is going to be the drawing I work on today, this right here. It's nothing yet, but it will be. It will be Santa's sleigh there, and it'll say, Happy Christmas to all and to all a good night, because it's the end of this poem. And I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this poem to show you all the illustrations that I have done or partially done. This one needs to be colored in. A few right here in this phase of the illustration need to be polished and then colored in. And the end of the poem, I just happened to put the poem here just as a reference. I'm going to delete this, but A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clark Moore is the name of the poem. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house. So I'm all the way to this. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all and to all a good night. So, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. So that's what that last image you saw with the chimney, that's what I'm doing right there. And then the next image is going to be Santa on his sleigh. And I'm going to draw it from almost from scratch here, not quite. So I'm going to zoom out the rest of this infinite zoom to let you know what's happening with the overall imagery. And there's a very strange line in the middle of the poem about, they're just trying to, the poet is trying to express how light and airy Santa Claus and his sleigh are when they take off. So here's one of the views of Santa Claus and his sleigh, and I have another one up here towards the beginning. And each time that I draw Santa Claus and his sleigh and all the reindeer, I get a little bit better at it. And so I did a portrait of each of the reindeer because he calls each of them by name early in the poem. So I'm going to have to zoom through that section when I make the video. And so here is the sleigh. I'm going to draw this again, and I'm going to draw it like slightly different than what it is here with how the reindeer are. It'll just be slightly different. It doesn't really, I don't want to like copy and paste this because it kind of defeats the whole purpose of infinite zoom. Infinite zoom is a vector program where you have to draw everything from scratch. And if I copy and paste that, I have to turn it into a photograph, which turns it into a pixelated image. And you can't get the clarity on the line. See how clear these lines are? You can't get the clarity on the line with a photograph. It always, as you zoom in, it eventually will go to pixels, and you just see pixels, you don't see line clarity. So these are, the children are nestled all snug in their beds. Well, oh, hi, Leo Mills. Do I remember you, Leo? You know, the name is sort of ringing a bell. Which drawing did we work on together? Was it one of the, like the history of fashion or the alphabet, or I've done quite a few on here. So here we are working on 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I will remember you in the future, Leo. now that you've asked me. I tend to remember those names when people talk to me and ask me questions. You might have to remind me of what the story was about that we were working on together. Leo, did I put your name in one of my stories? I haven't done that one. Sleeping one. Sleeping one. Huh, sleeping one. That's interesting to me. Which one is the sleeping one? Maybe it was that one. Oh, hard for me to remember. I do so much drawing. In fact, today I'm going to go back in here to where I was, which was Twas the Night Before Christmas, and I'm going to get started. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, no problem. You don't have to remember. I'm going to get started. I'll zoom back in here for a ways, and then I'll just hit actually, we go through the keyhole to the sleeping mouse. We go through the sleeping mouse to the fireplace. The kids are sleeping. The parents are sleeping. And I flew from my bed to see what was the matter, seeing new fallen snow. Santa's 8 reindeer. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every single one. Oh, thank you, Leo. You're very kind. So we're going to go to the last painted, which was right here. And I am going to show you how you can import photos into this to use as reference. So I'm going to import 2 photos. Let's see, I think what I'll do is get on my line layer, or I could put it on my photos layer, I guess. And I'm going to go grab some photos from my gallery. So the first thing I want to do is grab this photo of the sleigh that I originally drew. I'm going to put it right there as a reference. I can always go back and grab it. And then I'm going to, it was before the Santa one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been working on a graphic novel kind of one, I think. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming back. Really appreciate the support. And let me add this other one, which is a reindeer that I carefully drew in another program. And I can erase those lines. I just wanted to get these in here. Yeah. Thanks. So I think I'm going to erase those gold lines that I put on top of it. No need for those. I got to keep up with my comments here. You missed a lot of it. Oh, okay. So, oh, all right. You missed a lot of the Santa drawing? Is that what you're saying? Or you missed a lot of the other one and probably came on at the end or something? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You missed a lot of one of my drawings, so you're here now. Thanks. So I think what I'm going to do is start with this. So it's on my photo layer. I'm going to tap on there and I'm going to grab this image right here. I'm going to bring it down here and I'm going to turn it like this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, what matters is is in the present moment, correct? And then I'm going to erase this blue line. Thank you so much for whatever I see going up there. I see some emojis, but I can't see what they are, and now they're gone, but thank you for those. So here we are, and we're going to start drawing this. So this is a little bit of a cheater. I drew this in a different program. I can show you that really quick. I was over here in Fresco, and that's where I drew it. And I think that you can probably see if I were to export this, quick export, publish and export, content credentials are on, time lapse. I'm going to export it, and it'll show you what I had to go through to draw this. And it's way speeded up, but that's sort of what I had to go through to draw this. Thanks for all the hearts. Those are great. And then I turned that into, I exported that as a JPEG, and that is what I am working from in here on. I imported it here now. Now I'm going to go to my line layer and go to my gold color, which I have to go out here and grab that gold color. Whoops, grab this color right here. This is going to be the start of my drawing. Thank you. It took me a while. It took me, I've drawn a whole bunch of reindeers in the last couple weeks. So I wanted to make it more authentically a reindeer, which if you look at the face, this kind of squared off nose and these really big eyes with some accent around them. And then this part of the horn that comes forward, and it's got sort of this wide paddle on the front of it, is very much what you see with a traditional true reindeer, which is kind of like a caribou. They're closer, I think, to a caribou than they are to like the white-tailed deer. And a lot of times when you see Santa and his sleigh depicted, they use like a white-tailed deer, and they call it a reindeer. It's like, well, that's really not accurate at all, but okay. I think I'll go with a little bit heavier line on the outside of the drawing. Is that too heavy? I think it is a little bit too heavy. Just go a little bit lighter. There we go. And round that a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit like at this point, it's like, oh, she's just tracing if you just join me. But I did actually draw this from scratch over in Adobe Fresco, turned it into a JPEG, and I'm going to actually make the ears slightly bigger than the original one that I drew, because when I was looking at it, I'm like, I think that's a little bit small. I saw another comment. Yes, I have spent on the reindeer, because I've had so much practice, I probably only spent 20 minutes coming up with this reindeer, the black and white one that you saw where I showed you. But when I first drew a reindeer, it took me like an hour back the day after Christmas when I decided to do this project. I'm sorry, the day after, not Christmas, the day after Thanksgiving. I decided on that Friday to do this project, and I hadn't drawn a reindeer in, oh my gosh, years. I drew a caribou when I was in Alaska, and when I looked up reindeers, I'm like, oh, they're almost exactly like a caribou. And I wondered, genetically, I think reindeer are from sort of Russia, and caribou are North American. And of course, there's that, at one time there was those two continents were joined across the Bering Strait, and species came and went. That reminds me, you are excited for Christmas, or you excited. Anyway, I think if we're on here talking reindeers and drawing Santa sleighs or watching, we're excited for Christmas on some level. I've been watching Christmas movies just for fun, in my free time, to keep me in the spirit of this drawing, because this drawing has ended up being such a huge effort. Like, I can't believe how many hours I've put in on this drawing, on the whole drawing. It's been insane amount of hours. Like the weekend after Thanksgiving, or the weekend, so that I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Once I decided to do it on Friday, I just drew nonstop the whole weekend. It was kind of insane what I did. And now here I am the next weekend. I think it's the next weekend. And I drew yesterday for several hours. I drew every evening this week. I drew for an hour or two after work. I hope on Christmas you become famous. Oh, thank you. I know, I want to become famous. I have so many people come by and throw the comment down, "You are so underrated." And it's like, oh, thank you. That's kind of kind and unfortunate that I'm underrated. Yeah, I really would like to have just a little tiny, I don't need much, just a little tiny income to supplement my retirement. I don't, have $1 million put away like some people do. And I know there's a lot of people who don't have anything put away. And so I'm just like, I want to do some drawing, but I would love, in my retirement, I'm going to keep drawing. Absolutely. I'm never going to stop drawing. And then I'll be able to focus, because I won't have a day job. I'll be able to focus on commissions. Like if someone wants to hire me to draw something, I'll be able to do that. I can't do that right now because my day job takes up, it's just too important to me. I can't take my focus off from my day job, is what I'm trying to say. Stumbling over those words. Anyway, okay, so I've got my reindeer in here right now. So I'm going to go back to the photos layer. I'm going to turn that image on. I can now move that image out of the way. And I think what I'm going to do is just put it right here, make it a tiny bit smaller. Maybe, do I need to make it smaller? I don't know. I don't want them to be totally exactly the same. But that's where I'll draw the next reindeer. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this other sleigh here, image 2. And I'm going to bring the sleigh down here. And I'm going to, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. So there's a reindeer right there. We want the sleigh back a little bit. We want the sleigh pretty big. Okay, and then what I can do is make this opacity really, really light and go like that. Now I can kind of see what's going on with the sleigh and the... Okay, I'm going to check the comments in a second. I'm really focused on the task at hand here. Okay, that looks... So this reindeer and this reindeer to be are going to be part of the drawing. And it feels like maybe the sleigh is a little bit high. I think I need the sleigh down lower and maybe a tiny bit smaller. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to grab the sleigh, make it a tiny bit smaller, move it down a little bit. There we go. And then tap out there. Okay, that's starting to feel a little bit better. I'm still feeling like I made it too big. Okay, I'm going to catch up on comments. So let's see here. What do we have? We have, oh, I'll still do YouTube. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Leo. Oh, Leo, it inspired you to draw. That's my whole purpose here. And the reason I got started, why I decided, like, oh, this is cool. I went on and I did a live drawing, and a young girl said to me that she was super inspired and she was going to go draw after she watched the YouTube. And so I thought, oh, that's really cool. That made me so excited that I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. And now I hear it again. And I want to say thank you for saying that, because that's what makes the world go around for me. There, that's how big I want the Santa sleigh to be. Right there. Okay, I'm going to go back up to my line drawing here and grab my gold again. So I always make my videos not for children, even though my videos are totally family friendly. And the reason that I do that is because I think there's a lot of people already on YouTube drawing for children. And my drawings would appropriately be they would be appropriate for kids. But what happens to kids is, if they don't have somebody show them how to draw, or they don't have proper encouragement, they stop drawing. Like if somebody calls their drawing ugly, they'll quit drawing. And then but they always want to draw, right? But now they're afraid to, because somebody said their drawing was ugly. And so I'm here for the older kids and the adults who maybe were told they weren't great at drawing somewhere along the line, or they doubted themselves, but they really want to draw. And so I always make my videos, I say, not for kids, because I think that drawing is such a fun thing. I want everybody to be able to draw. And so I show up on sort of the adult, I'm not limited to just kids. Thanks for all the emojis. I see all that. Thank you. You're drawing Santa putting presents under the tree. Awesome. Have you gotten the Infinite Zoom app yet? So I'm going to do a video on making a Christmas card with Infinite Zoom. And you don't have to do it with Infinite Zoom, but there's an option to do it with Infinite Zoom. You could do each drawing on a separate piece of paper. But I was going to do that because Infinite Zoom for 1 month is $4.95. And if you go to the grocery store to buy a really special card for someone, you're going to spend more than $4.95 to get a really special Christmas card at the grocery store. You're probably going to spend $5 or $6. So all of a sudden, when I put it in perspective, paying for 1 month subscription to Infinite Zoom and working on a really special card where you zoom in, like maybe you only zoom in one or two drawings, because you only have so much time to actually do the drawing. I think it's totally worth it. So I'm going to make a long form video that'll stay up, and it's going to be about making a Christmas card. And I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm going to finish this one first. It's okay if I can put you in a short. Yes, please put me in a short. I would love that. I don't know if you have a way to collaborate you know, I don't know. I'm not super savvy on that kind of thing. I would be, you have my permission to put me in your short. Just give me credit for my channel. Get people to join. I would appreciate it. Great. Thanks. Leo, do you draw on paper or do you draw in an app? Do you draw on an iPad? Both. Okay. Oh, very good. Me too. I draw on both. Someday I'll pull out a bunch of my paintings that I did for my book, and I will. I have the original watercolors for the book, a children's book that I published a couple years ago. You can find that book, by the way, on Amazon or my website, and you can get a hardcover through my website. It's called Raven's Roost, and I wrote the poem and did all the illustrations, and I got an award for it. And I got a Kirkus starred review, which is a big deal in the world of publishing. Kirkus is an old review company from like, they started in like 1930 and they're still around today. Yeah, well, good for you for doing both. I'm all about that. Okay, so I'm not sure that this Santa face, I guess it is okay with the other Santas that I've done because I haven't really colored those in. I might just make the Santa look a little bit, I might have him looking over his shoulder. So I think what I'm going to do is just draw in his big cloak. I'm going to have his face looking over his shoulder here. Yeah, once you do a few of these, a few drawings, then it's kind of like, well, I can take the image that I did on that other drawing and trace over it. I mean, I think you've already earned all the labor of doing that, so why not? It makes it a lot faster. So Santa's sleigh here, and he's been delivering presents, so I will probably do all different presents in this bag. I think I'm not going to redraw those presents. But I might get this detail the same. I kind of like this detail. Oh, see you later. You gotta go to bed. Okay. I understand. People are watching YouTube from all over the world and the time zones are different. Yes, you have a good night too. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate all of the comments. I appreciate the enthusiasm. That's what keeps me going, is when I have enthusiastic young artists out there that really get turned on to doing their own creations. That's what it's all about for me. And and like I said before, you don't have to be young. That's why I don't make my videos just for children. I want everybody who wants to draw, who thinks that they'd like to try it. I want to encourage everybody to do it, no matter what your age. So I try and keep my stuff friendly. Occasionally the conversation shifts, but it's never anything super inappropriate. But I try and keep everything kind of family friendly, even though I don't, what am I doing here? I'm doing dots. I don't mark my videos for kids, but kids are pretty safe watching my videos. So for anybody who's recently joined, because I noticed I went down to hardly anybody and now I've got 3 viewers on there. I'm doing an infinite zoom drawing here, and I'm working out Santa's sleigh, the last of this infinite zoom. It's the last image on it. And this is "Twas the Night Before Christmas." So we're going backwards through the poem right now. And at the end of the poem, there's a lot about how Santa looks. And so these are really roughed out right now. I don't have them finished. But as we move closer to the beginning of the poem, you'll start to see I have finished drawings. Okay, so those are all the drawings I still have to finish. But here I have some finished to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. That's what that one is. As dry leaves whirl in a hurricane, or before a hurricane. I don't know. That's a weird line in the poem. Here's Santa and his sleigh from a different angle. And then, of course, I did every single portrait of every single reindeer that he calls out in the poem. And I'm going backwards through all these: Comet, Vixen, Prancer. And each of them are inside the eye of the next reindeer, except for the first one. The first one is in Santa's cap, in the puffball on his cap, and he's inside of the Santa sleigh, which I'm tracing. I sent this as a JPEG to my photos, and then I imported it back in, and I'm tracing it at the end because I'm going to have Santa's sleigh going again like this, saying Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And this is threw up the sash because there was such a clatter in the lawn. Here's Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap, putting our heads down for a long winter's nap. We're doing this all backwards. And these are sugar plums. I started to talk about that earlier and I got a comment and was interrupted. But this is, I looked up what sugar plums are, and they're just plums coated with sugar. I think they're like maybe dried plums, prunes coated with sugar. Very sweet, naturally sweet. And then the sugar makes them even sweeter. And then we have the stockings all hung by the chimney with care. And we have not a, there was no stirring in the house, not even a mouse. I know I got that line wrong. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Yeah. So that's where it starts. And I'm about to go back to where I was last drawing and keep going. I just wanted to bring people up to speed on what what they happen to jump into on this live drawing. Nope, that was too fat. So basically, I have to fill in this whole thing here. And erase some dots out of it is kind of what I'm going to do. And all of these, I'm going to come back and clean up the ends and make them nice and pointy and crisp. I don't like that. My first one was very swoopy, and these are not. They're just not swoopy. Let me try it again. That's better. That's a little more swoopy. Thanks for stopping by, folks. Really, really appreciate the views. Feel like I need to make those a little bit thinner. And it gets thinner when I bring the drawing closer. When you zoom in, it adjusts. This program is controlled mathematically, as you might guess, because it's a digital program. Hi, Blue Gems. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. So this program is sort of all controlled by math as you're zooming in and out. It's constantly recalculating. That's why you can do infinite zooming on it. It's just an amazing some mathematical genius programmer. I'm going to change this leaf to look like that. Some mathematical genius came up with this. And it was originally made so that for college students to take notes and be able to draw on an endless piece of paper, which is a really cool idea. As you can see, you can go and go and go. And the idea was that you could, I think whoever created it wanted it to be sort of representative of what our brains do, where we can go down a rabbit hole or we can say, oh, let's go and focus in on this, and then, oh wait, let's go over here and let's focus in on that, and I could draw something very intricate inside that eye and then zoom back out and get over to this other idea, which is so that, it's just sort of, that was the idea of the whole reason behind it had to do with studying and wanting it to be representative of what our brains are like, how our brains work, which I kind of love that. Thank you for all the love emojis. I love it. Where are all those love emojis coming from? Sending the love, sending it right back. Yahoo. Thank you. Yeah, you would think with all that YouTube algorithm would get me noticed and get me up in front of the masses. I thought about putting a question up today. I did that the other day, but I didn't get a whole lot of answers. The question would be, what is your favorite holiday movie? What's your favorite Christmas movie? I've just watched a bunch of them lately, and I have to say, I'm still convinced that those old classics are the best. Like, the one where Ralph gets in the fist fight and he has to put the Christmas Story, I think it's called. And then I saw another one called A Christmas Story, and it was how St. Nicholas got his start as a little boy in a village and his parents died. Has anybody seen that one? And then I saw Prancer. That was pretty good. Prancer had me going. Yeah. Yeah, the one with St. Nicholas, or the other Christmas Story with Ralph. Anyway, they're all good. I like them all. So I have to do some eraser dots in here. And they start out kind of small. The other Christmas Story, yeah. So as I go here, what I'm going to do is zoom out and see how my dots get a little bit bigger every time I zoom out. I'll do a third one like that and then actually go a little bit bigger there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here and make some of those other details. I need them to be a little bit smaller. I also like the one with George and the Angel. It was it's an old like 1940s movie with Jimmy Stewart. That was like from my childhood, like before I was made before I was born, but that's the one that we always watched when I was young. I love that movie. Every Christmas we watch it. But I have done the short about you. Did you just do it right now? Leo Mills. I have to make sure I subscribe to you so I can go find that and talk to you on your Leo Mills dash FY. Leo, didn't you say you had to go to bed? Dash FY. Small berries. Yeah, you like the small berries? FY5SQ. Yeah, Leo. Leo, you might be sorry if tomorrow if you don't get your rest. Tell you what, that's a curse of an artist. Oh my gosh, I have stayed up way too late. Too many nights working on drawings, and then I have to get up and go to work the next day. Oh my God. Like, that's when you know you're an artist, is when you're so into your drawing that you stay up way past your bedtime. She said yes, I know. I asked my mom to stay up a bit. Oh, good for her. Good for her. Glad she said yes. She probably appreciates that you're into drawing and making a short. Good for you. I haven't seen it yet. I'm still drawing live. I can't go and look at it, but I will. Can we go over there and look at your short? I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. All right, let me go over there. I'm going to go to YouTube. YouTube. Here we go. And I'm going to go search for, now I've got to get this right, Leo Mills at Leo Mills. Leo Mills dash, was there a dash? Shift dash F Y 5 SQ. Search. Let's see if we can find you. Uh-oh. How about if I get rid of that? Now I'm going to have to go Leo Mills FY5SQ. Go to settings. The 3 dots. Okay, I'm going to go to set up here. Where on my iPad, here, search filters. You need to use the at. Oh, okay. Okay, got it. At. Where's my at? At. Search. I had Click channel. You don't need the at. Huh. What's your channel called? Is it called Leo Mills? Shorts. Okay, I'm going to go all the way back out, and then I'm going to go to my search again. Leo Mills. That's sponsored. For some reason, I can't get to you. I don't know why. It says no results. Way, it's what it's used. This is it. The end. E and the O are wrong. Oh. In what I typed? Let me try it again. I didn't have the capital M. Nope, that's an underscore. I need a hyphen. Hyphen at. 5SQ. King of Ice, is that you? This is it. King of Ice. Okay, I'm going to hit subscribe. And then I'm going to go to your channel and I'm going to look at shorts. And yes, and one view on this short. Oh, wow. Oh my God, Leo. I can't believe you did this. I'm blown away. It's all black though at the end. I don't know why. First one, thanks so much. First one, rope left. Rope left, I don't know what that means. So I just subscribed. The music keeps going, but the video doesn't. So I don't know if that's because it isn't loaded right or if it's just how it worked out. So this is the person who inspired me to draw. Oh, go here and like, thank you. Oh, we got to hit the like on that. I'm the first one to like it, and I'm going to make a comment. Wow. Oops. Oh. There we go. I'll go on there and I'll check out your other videos when I'm not drawing live on YouTube. Thanks, that was super fun. That's okay. You can redo it. I'll check back. Or, just leave it the way it is. That's fine too. It does help the algorithm though if you cut the black part out at the end, then people are more likely to watch it all the way through. and that will boost your algorithm. If they don't watch it all the way through and they click off, it makes the algorithm think it's not interesting. So you should always, yeah, you just forgot to trim it. You probably already know that. Just sharing a little insight from what I've learned. Okay, I'm going to start cleaning up these pretty little marks that I made. Yeah, just remember that when you're doing YouTubes, you're trying to please not just the audience, but you're trying to please a computer that's trying to understand what the audience is doing. And it doesn't differentiate between a movie that you forgot to end and a movie that's boring that maybe goes on for a few minutes. So thank you for making that short. That is so kind of you. So back we go to drawing. And we're just going to make these more beautiful. I think that's okay. Just double checking I'm on the right layer. That would be a travesty if I was on the wrong layer. Oh, there's now two. Okay, awesome. I will definitely go over there and check that out. That is so cool. Thank you. I'll go over and make comments and check out the other one too. You can delete the first one if you can delete a video if I do it. I mean, if I sometimes I put something up and I forget to do something and I'm like, "Oh no," and I've already got like 20 views and I just like quick go in and delete it because I don't want to put work up there that's not up to my standards. So deleting is okay. Yeah, right. They're good. They're both good no matter what. Yeah. I think I might make this one a little bit different. This is my last drawing of the series. So going in and making things super special, fancy, I think is totally worth it. Okay, so I have the sleigh. I don't have his face figured out yet, but his face is going to be somewhere like this. And it's really going to be roughed in here. So now I'm sort of feeling like I can turn off that sleigh. Let me go to my photos, to that image. I'm just going to move it out of the way because I might need the colors, so I'm not going to delete it. I'll just have it there. Oops. And then I will, yeah, I'll just leave it like that for right now. So now you can see kind of what I'm doing here with my idea of having Santa look at the viewer. And then I'll just go in here and keep going on my reindeer. And then eventually I'll just be coloring this in. We'll go to the medium line, make it a little bit smaller. Oh, thank you, Leo. I'm so glad that you have enjoyed our talks. I'm a grandma. You know, I'm a grandma. I know how, I know like how to be nice to people at this point in my life. So I'm glad that you have enjoyed it. So this is always tough because I can't normally, the one part about live that's hard with this program is it doesn't rotate. Like I can't rotate the page. And so I have to like rotate this, and then it's like, well, that kind of puts it out of whack for people who are watching on the screen, and my hand sometimes goes out of the, so that's one of the downsides to this program because it's so basic. There's a few compromises that I've made for that. Basically the endless zoom aspects of it are what draw me in, and I kind of put up with this other stuff where there's no copy paste and there's no like movement where it goes around, where it rotates. Yeah, and I noticed in that Prancer movie that they use a real reindeer. They don't use just a deer. They use a reindeer that comes from the north. So I kind of want to open up Chat GPT really quick here and have it do a little can you tell me if there's a difference between a reindeer and start talking.
Sure.
Can you tell me if there's a difference between a reindeer and a caribou?
Absolutely. So reindeer and caribou are actually the same species of animal. The main difference is really just where they live and how they're referred to. In Europe and Asia, we call them reindeer, and in North America, they're typically called caribou, especially when they're wild. So it's really more of a naming and regional thing than a biological difference.
Okay, I'm going to end that. Sometimes ChatGPT will keep talking, so I had to end that. That's what I was thinking when I saw them, when I saw a reindeer, and I thought, oh, I was really into drawing caribou when I moved to Alaska years ago. I lived in Alaska for many years. And of course, it's like, well, what are the cool animals up here? And it's like, oh, they have caribou here. So, being an artist, I learned how to draw a caribou, and that is actually okay. Bye bye, Leo. Thank you so much. That was so fun tonight. You made my day. So caribou and reindeer are the same thing. Now we know. Okay. So now I am going to go to the photos layer, grab that image, move it out one more, put a little turn on it. I think I'll make him a tiny bit smaller. Just looking at this, so I want them going pretty well straight. The last one I want to be going straight, so there we go. They also have some little ridges there that I didn't include in that drawing. That was a funny sound coming from my Apple Pencil. I wonder if this tip is going to eventually wear out. I've had this Apple Pencil for, oh, how long now? Let me see, I got it. It's about 1.5 years old. And it has not given me any trouble at all. I love it. It's such a great tool. Okay, so I've got that one pretty well done here. Sleep well. Good night, Leo. Sweet dreams. That's what I like to say. I'm going to go back to my photos here. Grab that guy again. Move him out. Rotate him. And there I have 4. Now I'm going to have to do a double. I'll have to do another one behind. I haven't quite figured out how I want to do that yet. Well, that tail got kind of fat, didn't it? Okay, so now I have to think about how I'm going to add that second reindeer. I might use a little bit darker color. No, yeah, and I'm going to put it on the layer right behind this layer. Am I? No, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to keep with I'm not going to change my method right at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go here to my photos. Oops, cancel these. Grab that little guy, make him a tiny bit smaller. and just there. I think that's going to work. I'm going to have him on the other side. I won't even show the front legs. Make sure I'm on the right layer, get on the right layer. That was kind of a weird line I did there. Okay, go back here and grab that image one more time, and let's move it back over here. Let's put him in a little bit different angle. I don't know where that blue dot's coming from. I'm going to have to track that down. Let's see, where is it? It's up there on the top layer. There we go. Go back to our gold line. he about the same size? Yes. What happens there if I could have his nose running into the other one, I guess. Make him just a tiny bit smaller. I think that's what I'm going to do, just a tiny bit smaller. I know with big lines, it's way better to just go fast with them to get a big sweeping curve than to draw it slow. It's almost like it gets really wobbly and jiggly when you do it slow, and it doesn't, you lose the sweeping feeling of it, which you might have seen. I mean, I occasionally make that exact mistake. L for, hi, L for R for kitty. Do you remember me? You know, I remember a kitty, so I don't know which drawing you joined me for before, but I'm so happy you're back. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I will remember you now. When people have started asking me, do you remember me? And it's, once you ask me that, I usually will remember you. Did we ever put your name in Spunky? Spunky. Did we ever put your name in one of my drawings, I wonder? Sometimes I remember people from that. And sometimes people, their YouTube handles are different than their names. You don't have to share if you're not comfortable, of course. But I'm just wondering if I put your name in one of my drawings before. Okay, so that takes care of that one. I've only got one more reindeer to trace over. That's exciting. I hope I went on the right layer. You know what? That last one I just put on the wrong layer. Ugh, darn. I'm going to have to erase the whole thing and do it again, because I will be way screwed up later if I, oh no. Oh no. Undo, undo. Undo, undo. Do. Okay. How many have I done on this layer, I wonder? I might have a whole bunch that I did on this layer that I didn't mean to. Darn. Darn. Okay, so, all right, deal with it later. Don't deal with it on a YouTube Live. You'll figure it out, Maggie. So, let me go here to my layers, and I will grab that photo one more time. And I will move it back here. And I think I might have his nose just overlap a tiny bit. I don't know, I haven't done that yet. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it right there. And I'm going to go back up to the top layer and on the top layer, grab my pen and just start tracing. It's a little thick. I do like in the Prancer movie that they used a real reindeer. They used a caribou or reindeer, which we had just looked up on, had ChatGPT check that for us, that a reindeer and a caribou are the same thing. They're just named differently depending on what part of the world you find them in. They come from the north, the northern territories of wherever you are, whether it's Europe, Russia, or the United States, or Canada. Probably, I don't know if they have them in like Greenland. I wonder if they have them in Greenland. That's a good question. Are there caribou or reindeer in Greenland? It's pretty northern, and even though it's called Greenland, it's actually very snowy and icy. Oops, we gotta do this part. And then finish off the legs, and then I will be able to turn this off and maybe start coloring. I don't know. I'm a little discombobulated because I put these gold lines on the wrong layer. So let me go turn this off. Well, I'll just move it out of the way for now. Whoopsie. Go back to my layer, choose photo, choose that image, shrink it down, move it up here. Same with the sleigh. I'm gonna actually go into that sleigh and make it fully opaque so that I can grab the colors from it to color in the new one. And so there we go. Okay, so what's interesting to me is the amount of ones I put on this layer here versus this layer down here on the photos layer. And unfortunately, these two are both on the photos layer, and this one's got one on the photos layer. So I think what I'm gonna do, and yeah, I can do this right at the end. So far, that hasn't stopped me from making new layers. I'm gonna add a layer here. I'm gonna add 2 layers, and I'm gonna do my last coloring on those very bottom layers. That way I can go underneath. It's like important to me to be able to do that. It makes my drawing easier. So, okay, where's that brown dot? Let's find out where that, it's on this layer. I want to erase that. So what I might do here is just create a color palette. I've not done this before, but let's just do it. I'm going to go to layer 5 here. I'm going to use my big brush here, and I'm just going to create some dots by taking the colors from one area Okay, that's the same. I think I've got almost all the colors. There we go. I knew there was a darker bone color. So now I basically have a palette. Let me grab this nice bright color here. What other color am I missing? There's a dark gray or a dark gold, and there's a regular gold. Oh, that's the same. There's a light gold. I've got lots of different shades of red in there. And then we have also the white of his beard is kind of a little bit, I guess it's a white. So now I have a palette. I basically have a palette that I've created, and I can turn these photographs off. I basically can just turn that layer off. There might be other things on that layer though, so I actually can't turn that layer off, because watch what happens when I turn that off. Watch my reindeer. This tells me what I have on the photos layer. I have a whole bunch of them on the photos layer. So, because I forgot to switch back and forth between my layers. So I'm on layer 5 now, which is, so what I have to do instead, I want to get rid of that photograph, is I go here and I just go to that image and I say delete. And it's now gone. And then I can also go to this image on the photos and say delete, and it's gone. Okay. So I think that's going to conclude my drawing, my live drawing today, now that I've created palettes. And I'm going to take a little break, and then I'll come back later and finish drawing Santa and the sleigh. But before I go, for anybody who just joined, this is the last drawing in this series of drawings, and I'm also going to write Happy Christmas to all and to all a good night, because that is the end of the Twas the Night Before Christmas poem. And this is an infinite zoom illustration of that poem. So I'm going to go backwards through the poem. And a lot of the end of that poem is about how Santa Claus looks, and the guy kind of chuckling at how he kind of looks with his round belly and his pipe with the smoke encircling his head. And then these are not finished yet. Let me go back out to where I've got some finished colored photos for you. Here's the hooves of the reindeer on the roof. Here are the reindeer to the top of the house, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, to the top on Dashaway. I don't know. I can't remember the poem. It's all running together. As dry leaves before a wild hurricane fly, dash away all. And then each of the reindeer are here. Each portrait. And lastly, we will bring you out to the parts of the poem that most people remember, which have to do with Santa and his sleigh, new fallen snow, dashing to a window, throwing up the sash. Our brains are settled for a long winter's nap. Children with sugar plums dancing in their heads. Stockings hung by the chimney. There was nothing stirring, not even a mouse. And it was the night before Christmas is where the poem starts. So I just went through that whole poem backwards. And when I actually photograph this or film this, I will not have my fingers showing. I will zoom through it. All the drawings will be completed. They'll all be colored in, and I will narrate it, and it will go up as a video, a long form video on my channel. And I'm sure to do a bunch of promotion about it, but I'm drawing like big parts of it live on YouTube. So I'll probably be back on here coloring in. Now that I have all the line work done, the next thing is to color each one in the way I've got these colored in, these first ones. Like these, I'm not going to do any more on these. I might color in that little scene around the chimney. This one is done. This one is done. 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 I always get fooled on that one. Where do I go in? And then all of the portraits of the reindeer are done. And then you get in towards the end, they're not done. But I'm going to go take a break right now. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. I really appreciate it. I draw live on here fairly often. Try to get on once a week. I'm kind of developing a tiny little fan base of people who like to interact with me, because I'm a nice old lady and I'm always kind to people. So give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe if you want to connect with me again, and I'll be drawing all sorts of different things. Right now I'm just focused on Christmas, but I draw alphabets, I draw graphic novels, I draw all sorts of things. I draw fashion, history of fashion. I have all of those drawings going in infinite zooms, and I keep going back to each of them, and eventually I'll finish all of them. But right now, this is going to be a push for me to get this all finished by Christmas in my free hours, and so that's what I'm working on, and that's what you're going to see on my live Zooms for a little while, or my live streams. Thanks again for coming by, and I will see you the next time. Bye bye.